Prime Minister Magdalena Andersson has this evening resigned, and the country's far-right leader is claiming victory for a right-wing bloc of four parties. Well, vote counting has been continuing until today because the results were too close to call, and that meant the final outcome rested in postal and overseas votes. Let's get more now from correspondent Paul Rees in Malmo. Paul, a really razor-thin lead, it would appear, for the right-wing bloc. Any clues as to how they're going to be able to govern?
It's going to be very difficult. Yes, as you say, probably just about 3 seats in it as Magdalena Andersson conceded defeat just in the last hour. Now, the leader of the right-wing coalition is Ulf Kristersson of the Moderate Party. That Moderate Party has been overtaken as the second biggest party in Sweden, it seems, by the formerly extreme right Sweden Democrats, still a very right-wing party, but who have thrown out some of their more extreme elements in recent years. Now, this was a real pariah party a few years ago. Couple of elections back only had about 5% of the votes, now got about 20% of the votes. They will expect to play a large part in any government that is put together. However, they are still pariahs for many parties and many people in Sweden. So whether Ulf Kristersson is going to be able to persuade even the other parties in his own right-wing centrist coalition to accept the Sweden Democrats having an actual place in the government, or to even work with them. The Liberal Party has already made noises that they won't accept the Sweden Democrats in the government, is really, really difficult to say at this stage.
From their slogan, the far-right slogan, "Put Sweden first," any clues as to sort of what direction they want to take things in?
Well, absolutely. I was at a rally of Jimmie Åkesson, the leader of the Sweden Democrats, the day before the election in Stockholm. He says that Sweden used to be going in the right direction, had a good welfare state, had a reasonable immigration policy, although a generous one. And he now claims that the leftist parties in Sweden have tried to save the world. In the last 10 years, there's been about 1 million new Swedes living in Sweden, partly due to the refugee crisis of 5 years ago or so. And he says that mass immigration has taken Sweden in the wrong direction. In fact, Magdalena Andersson, the outgoing Prime Minister, said just in the last hour that Sweden had failed to integrate people. One of the things Jimmie Åkesson and the Sweden Democrats want to do is fight the huge crime wave that Sweden have had in the past few years, the highest rate of shootings, deadly gang shootings in Europe, by making sure that anyone not born in Sweden who gets a prison sentence can actually be deported from Sweden, even if they are a Swedish citizen. Whether they'll be able to get that kind of policy through with this very difficult picture it's looking like in building a government, that certainly remains to be seen.
OK, well, thank you for your update there. Our correspondent Paul Rees in Malmo in Sweden, thank you very much indeed. Let's get a check of the top business news stories. Kate